Under orders of the day, consideration of His Honour the Lieutenant Governor's speech. Debate adjourned. Mr. Kong speaking.
Honourable Member for Calgary-Fish Creek.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I look forward to the speech from the throne every year. We as Albertans get a sense of where the government will be going and where they are coming from. Mr. Speaker, this province is a wonderful place to live, work, and raise a family. The wonderful people I serve in Fish Creek let me know when they are unhappy about something, and if they have a problem, I try to help them. Mr. Speaker, I door knock every year, usually from May to September. I listen to what my constituents tell me at the door, and Mr. Speaker, I take their conversation to heart. Every month I post an article on my website called What's on Your Mind? It's not what's on my mind, but what my constituents from Fish Creek tell me. I have a good sense of what the people in my community feel on the issues. Mr. Speaker, I, like my constituents, are concerned with what I heard in the throne speech. I listened closely, and I read the speech again, just to be sure. I was shocked, absolutely shocked, to hear the governing party take credit for the Alberta we live in today. And I'm going to quote, "A little more than 40 years ago, Alberta set out on the road to the modern age under the leadership of the people with such foresight." You know, Mr. Speaker, when you get under the government, when you start having them yell at you, when you're in the middle of the throne speech, doing a throne speech that represents what your constituents are telling you.
Member of Fish Creek has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I was offended in a few ways. For one, the attitude of the government and of all the parties that have spent too much time in power. It's that the world did not seem to exist before they took power. Quite frankly, Mr. Speaker, that's arrogant. To pretend that this fine province and its fine people are a product manufactured by the governing party is an insult. After the throne speech, you probably came away thinking that the PC party invented the wheel and they are the best thing since sliced bread. Alberta has a proud history, and the reason for that is quite simple. It's the people of Alberta. The reason we have a successful economy is because of all of the entrepreneurs out there building businesses and creating jobs. The only thing holding our healthcare system together is the hard work of our health professionals. They are the frontline workers, like the doctors, the nurses, the LPNs, and all the other wonderful staff that are holding on for the sake of all Albertans. Alberta is great despite the governing party, not because of it. Here's another quote that made me drop my jaw. "Recognizing the need for imaginative new programs, it makes bold decisions that build up the province we take for granted today." Now, if I'm reading that the way my constituents in Calgary-Fish Creek are, we're not grateful enough to the PC party for the world we live in today. Quite frankly, I feel grateful to serve the people of Calgary-Fish Creek and Alberta, not the other way around. Albertans built this province. They built the schools, they built the businesses, and they built the homes that we live in today. I became an MLA because I believed in the Alberta Advantage. I believed in a government that listened and was responsive to the needs of Albertans. What I liked about the Alberta Advantage was the government knew when to get out of the way and trust Albertans to lead it. Now the government is asking Albertans to get out of the way. The government has everything taken care of. I know my constituents don't feel the same way. They're nervous about a group of people who talk about discussions and conversations, but do what they want anyway. A saying has always stuck with me as long as I've been in government. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. I certainly hope this government takes that quote to heart. So I ask, why does this government continue to assume they know what's best for Albertans? I know that Albertans have and always have had a pioneering spirit. To this day, Alberta is a land that attracts people from all over the world. They come here for the opportunity and the freedom to make a better life for themselves and their families. That is their dream, and that is mine too. And, quite frankly, we've succeeded. This is the best place to live and raise a family and do business in the world. We as Albertans create Alberta in our image. We decide. That's democracy. But I wonder if the Premier feels the same way. Here's another quote. Your government will not miss the opportunity to reshape Alberta. Excuse me? Reshape? There is nothing wrong with Albertans. Quite the opposite, in fact. Albertans are the reason this province is great. What Albertans want is the opportunity, quite frankly, to reshape the government.
Whenever government talks about reshaping,
there is a reason Mr. Speaker, there is a reason why I'm no longer in the governing party. It was my choice, and a difficult one at that. I've been privileged, I've been humbled by the opportunity to serve the residents of Calgary Fish Creek. Quite frankly, they're my bosses. They're the people I always listen to. They told me what had been troubling me for some time. The government had stopped listening. It had all the answers, no matter what the questions were. Here's another quote that struck me. Alberta's family and businesses have a government that will help them adapt and build a province that present and future generations will be proud of. Albertans know full well how to make a province succeed, to create a province to be proud of. They don't know what result-based budgeting is. I wonder if many in government know it either. What Albertans do know and what Albertans understand is that their budget is made at the kitchen table, where they decide the wants and the needs. I don't think the governing party is up to that simple challenge. I am proud of Alberta, Mr. Speaker, at this very moment. Always have been, and always will be. I don't think twice about saying it. I must assume, however, that this government under the Premier is not proud of Alberta. She must think that there is something wrong to its foundation. Is she ashamed? I have no idea why. Alberta is amazing. This province has been great to me, and there are millions out there that feel the same way. Why? Because they built it. They get their hands dirty, they put in their time, and they put in their effort. They made Alberta what it is today. Nothing worthwhile is easy. We've earned the Alberta we have today through hard work and smart work, not because of the Premier's office. That's why I'm concerned when I read that it's time for foundational change. The Premier thinks with a change in the leader and some substitutes on the cabinet bench that we've started the foundational change. Quite frankly, that's completely wrong. The foundations of Alberta are not in the Premier's office or the cabinet. They are in the people of Alberta. Alberta's foundation lies in the grassroots. There is nothing wrong with the people of Alberta. They elect the government does not elect the people. All I've seen in the last year from the governing party is lip service and, quite frankly, cosmetic change. Albertans are not fooled. They know what's going on in their schools, their hospitals, and their communities. If they'd been listening, they'd know that by now. I'm hopeful, Mr. Speaker. I know Albertans will persevere and they'll succeed. I know Albertans will persevere. Thank you. I know Albertans will persevere and they'll succeed. Nothing will hold them back. Nothing ever has. This government has a clear choice. Listen or get out of the way.
Are any